Good morning. Let's go, baby. In the Salvation Army soldier uniform, ready to share the good news, baby. You know what I mean? So thankful to be clean and sober. So thankful to be alive. Thankful to be, don't have the obsession to use. So thankful that the obsession has been lifted. And just super blessed by the Lord, man. Today in the devotion, I wasn't able to film it, but today at the Salvation Army, I talked about the story of Jonah. Jonah was a respectful, loving man who everybody in the city of Israel, they loved him. God gave him a task. He wanted to go to Nineveh to spread the good news because Nineveh was an evil city and there was nothing but evil over there. And he was going to destroy the city in 30 days unless Jonah went over there and spread the good news to them and turned them and had them repent. But Jonah, because this was their enemy, Israel's enemy, he was scared to go over to Nineveh and help save them. So what he did is he thought that he could hide from God and he could hide from the Lord, which is never going to happen. I know in my life, I thought I could hide from God, continue to do bad, just kind of, maybe he won't see, maybe he won't see. He sees everything and he's going to want to take you onto his will no matter what happens. He's going to want to line you up with his will. But this is the blessing that you will become fulfilled from the inside out. And now you will have purpose after this happens. So Jonah goes on a boat, right? A massive storm hits the boat, right? And all the other people on the boat, they are worshiping all their idols. You know, they're not worshiping the one true God, you know, the King of Kings, baby. And they're on the boat and there's a massive storm and the storm's about to take over the boat. So all the other people on the boat go in and they wake up Jonah because he's sleeping and they go, why won't you, our gods won't stop the storm. Tell your God to stop the storm. And Jonah knows that it's God mad at him because he's trying to run from him. He's trying to run away from his purpose. So Jonah tells him to throw him overboard because then the storm will stop. And all the people on the boat, they're like, no, Jonah, you're a good guy. We can't throw you overboard. But he talks them into doing it because that's the only chance they get. So they throw him overboard and he's in the ocean now to die. Well, a big whale comes and it swallows up Jonah, right? So Jonah's scared, and he realizes because of the smell and the slippery surroundings and all the things floating, he realizes that he's in the mouth of a whale, that he's in the stomach of a whale. For me in my life, I wanted to chase pleasures my whole life, and I continued to not do what God wanted. And even when I played baseball, I never felt like I had purpose, or I never felt like I had joy. I always worried about the future. I always future tripped. I had no type of peace that beyond all understanding. I had no type of peace. So I understand what it's like to not follow God's will and follow your own will, that it never works out and it never feels good. But Jonah ends up praying every day inside of the well. He ends up begging the Lord for forgiveness. He ends up telling the Lord that he'll go and do his will. And after 3 days, now these 3 days is what I consider me going to the Salvation Army for a year. The Lord put me in the Salvation Army so I can be able to repent and have the world stripped of me. And I can become a whole new person and I could walk out of there and I can help spread the good news and save lives. Now I'm lined up with God's will, what I was supposed to be doing my whole entire life. But I walked away from God. I came back from God. And now I spread the good news. So Jonah gets spit up on the shore and he tells the Lord, he goes, I'll do anything, Lord, I'll do anything. So he goes to Nineveh and he ends up preaching to them the good news. He ends up preaching to them the good news and he ends up turning the whole city and repenting everyone over there to be able to walk with the one true God, the Lord, the King of Kings. And he shows favor on their lives and he doesn't destroy the city. But Jonah, as he's coming back home, he's upset because they were his enemies. So he still wished that the Lord would have, he still wishes that the Lord would have destroyed their city, but he didn't do that. And he talks to Jonah one last time and he says, Jonah, what you did, you saved so many lives. What you did was absolutely amazing. You caused the whole city to repent and now I showed favor on them. So for me in the Salvation Army, after I graduated, I had no idea how many lives that I was going to be able to touch and it will continue to touch. But now since I'm lined up with God's will, I go out there and I spread the good news on my testimony, which is like a superpower to me, given to me by God to help save lives, guys. But you can never run from God's will. He's going to get you in the long run. If you continue to stay off God's will, you will struggle. You will have anxiety. You will be discontent and you will continue to bump your heads, guys. So for me, I put God first every day. I was a pro baseball player. I became a street junkie. And now I have a powerful testimony that can help save lives. The same way Jonah went out and saved the city is how I now left the Salvation Army. Like I came out of the well and now I'm spreading the good news every single day. I love the parables in the Bible, man. They're absolutely amazing and they absolutely relate to my life. I can't be the only life out there that looks at all the parables and is like, man, that makes sense to me. This is something that can happen for everybody. Everybody can read the Bible, read the parables, the New Life Recovery Bible. It relates the steps and recovery to God's will. It's absolutely amazing. But hey, I just wanted to share that. That's what my devotion was on this morning, the story of Jonah. And I just love that parable. I love that story. And I love the prodigal son. And I love these things because they help me change my life and to get connected with God and be with his will. And the last 3 years and 2 months, he has changed my life drastically from the inside out. Let's have a great day. I hope we got something out of this. Hey, let's keep moving and grooving with the Lord because he is the way and he is the truth. And remember this. Let's go, baby.